Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Cohn-Byrd and I am a wellness and weight loss coach, a fitness competitor training for my first figure competition in December, and also the founder of the wellness movement Alliance Nation. So Alliance Nation is a group on Facebook and sort of like my following and the audience that I've built around my own personal weight loss transformation with tips, tricks, strategies, and really just support and programs all along the way through your weight loss journey. So what I wanted to do with this YouTube channel is just sort of have some informal conversation and help you guys out as much as I possibly can. A little bit of an intro. I want to talk about my prep kind of week by week or however often you guys want to hear about it. Kind of letting you know what I have going on, exactly how I'm figuring out my diet, my nutrition, and everything else in between, how I adjust from here on out. Here I'm about 8.5 weeks until the show, so I'll be doing updates and kind of letting you know how it's going and telling you exactly what I'm going to do. And also, like I announced on my other social media channels, I am going to do another series which is called Fuel Your Fire, and I'm going to put that along in conjunction with the updates on the prep, because the Fuel Your Fire is really like what I help my clients do. So it's not just the weight loss portion, it's really the missing link between all the information that's out there today around health and wellness and weight loss, and why people still can't lose weight and why there's so much disease still in the country. And to me, that huge part is not just accountability, not just motivation or inspiration, but it's actually the psychology behind the habits that we need to form to lose weight, how to make it stick, how to make it be long lasting, and really what you have to do with your brain to turn weight loss into something that you can accomplish for the long term, right? So it's not just like mindset. So it's not just the fluff like, oh, you got to make a decision and be committed and a choice, all that kind of stuff. It's not just that. It's actually the psychology and what's going on in your brain and how you can rewire yourself to think along the lines of your goals, how to make your goals, how to turn them into reality by cultivating them into habits, and I guess like thinking thin, but actually putting the actionable items behind the thought and the psychology of what it takes to actually sustain that lifestyle. So now that I've said that, a little bit about the intro of what the channel is going to talk about. The first part of the Fuel Your Fire series is number 1 on psychology, and I put this out there on the social media kind of promoting this video, but it's the first concept that I like to talk to my clients about, and that is the real world versus the ideal world, and why that can be a hindrance to weight loss efforts. Okay, so let's think about it this way for a little bit. So life is always about constantly finding balance, right? Well, there's a real world, and then there's an ideal world, is the balance that we're constantly fluctuating between, and that's true in weight loss as well. So let's say the ideal world is you have the perfect diet plan, the perfect fitness plan. Every day you're going to lose half a pound, a week or so you'll lose 2 pounds a week or something like that, and in a couple of months you're down 10 pounds because you've done everything perfectly. The weight came off in a completely linear fashion. There were no hardships. It was so easy. You weren't hungry. Everything happened exactly how you wanted. That's the ideal world, right? Okay, so now we all know that that is not anywhere near how it works. So we have the real world, and the real world is the actual progression of weight loss. It's actually your individual real world. So everything else that you have in your life, your work schedule, your family life, your social life, actually trying to stay sane. So while you're trying to keep a job, playing with your kids, maybe you're a stay-at-home parent, you're trying to keep up a social life and do the necessities like eat, drink, go to the bathroom and sleep, or shower, God forbid, like sometimes, right? Where we're trying to keep it all balanced, you're not always going to have the ideal world with everything else going on. So sometimes maybe your week will be pretty good, but your weekends you're just so tired and worn out that your ideal world turns into a whole pizza and breadsticks in front of Netflix with Game of Thrones and football all weekend. And that's the real world. And you know what? It's okay. But the thing is, the gap between the real world and the ideal world sometimes is what stops people from actually taking part in a weight loss program at the very beginning, okay? Because they see what the ideal world is, and they're like, oh man, well, in order to reach my goals, I have to be perfect. That's just not going to work with my lifestyle. There's no way I can do this. So because they have that mindset about striving for the ideal world, they look at their real world and they're like, well, that's just not going to work for me. So there's no way it's going to happen. I'm just not going to do it at all because I know I'm going to fail from the get-go. Okay? So the ideal world in the weight loss field can be intimidating to some, and that's why you don't get started. That was definitely one of my biggest struggles because I've always been super busy. I saw what like the fitness models on Instagram and all the ideal people and figures that we want to look like, what they did every day, and I was like, this is just not going to fit into my lifestyle. So I didn't take any action because I didn't think it would work for me. Well, here is the truth. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to fit into the ideal world because remember, I said life is always a constant fluctuation and balance between the ideal world and the real world. You never want to be in full balance because that means you're stagnant, right? You're not moving. But what you want to do is you just want to set your sights high enough so that you have that incremental progression each day. So you're striving for the ideal world, but you still have the real world, the realities, your responsibilities that you have to take care of, so you're in constant fluctuation. But as long as you have that why and those goals and you're striving for the ideal world, you'll still kind of skew the weights to this side and all the results and the benefits are going to be in your favor. So just know that it's okay to not be perfect. You don't have to live in the ideal world. You're going to see results if you do the healthy behaviors 80% of the time. Remember the 80-20 rule? Like make it a rule and not an exception. So you can have exceptions, which is partially coming from your real world, but your rules are going to be from the ideal world. So you have a rule for your health and your wellness and your weight loss, but sometimes you fall off and that's okay. Those are the exceptions. That's where the real world comes into play. And it's okay. It's always a balance. You're still going to see results that way. So I urge you that if you're looking into any sort of wellness, health, or weight loss plan or program, just make sure that you know it's okay, that you don't have to be perfect and follow it T to T from beginning to end. There's always going to be fluctuation. There's always going to be fall-offs, but as long as you are committed, as long as you are sticking to it, as long as you get back on the wagon, you make it the rule, not the exception, blah, 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 then you're going to see results, okay? And then eventually, your ideal world is going to come into fruition, and then you keep striving for new goals. So I'm here to tell you that it's okay. Don't let that be a hindrance for you guys to start your weight loss. That's definitely a psychological barrier that a lot of people run into, especially with those that I work with. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I'll come back in a couple of days and give you part 2 of the Fuel Your Fire with a different psychological subject and helping you get over those mind barriers and actually switching your mind and turning your brain function, your psychology into thinking like a healthy, thin person, or just healthy person. Anyways, yeah, so thanks a lot, guys. You know where to find me. Go to the Alliance Nation Wellness Lifestyle Group. That's the Facebook group, Facebook page. Follow the Instagram at Nikki Cohn-Byrd. Kind of follow along with everything, and I'll let you guys know how to get in touch with me if you want some more one-on-one attention. So have the best day. We'll talk soon. Rock it out. See ya.